Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am jeffgrantMEDIA, and this is my extended review of my Matador Beast 28 pack. Now, I field a lot of questions about products that I review. I get them emailed to me, I get them commented on YouTube, I get them shot to my IG DMs. I get questions all the time, but honestly, one of the things that I get a lot of questions on is this pack right here. I get this asked all the time, am I still using it? Do I recommend any other day packs? And yeah, I'm still using this. I checked. I did my first video on this bag on November 3rd, 2021. And I was so excited to get this bag that I actually did my unboxing at work as opposed to eating lunch that day. So that means I got it like a day or two beforehand. So I've had this bag for nearly 3 years now. And yes, I am still using this as my day pack. This is my hiker. I used it today. And to show you what I carry, I left everything but the water inside the bag. Now, if you haven't seen any of my other videos on this bag, I have no affiliation with Matador in any way, shape, or form. I bought this bag with my own money back in November 2021, and I actually bought it from Moose Jaw, who I believe is now Public Lands, but I bought it there just because it was on sale. I saved a couple of bucks. I probably got like free shipping. I think I said I got it for like 135 bucks at the time of filming. That time, I think this bag was $150. Honestly, I don't even check now. I don't care. I love this bag. I would spend just about any amount of money on it right now. I absolutely love and adore this bag. But yeah, so I have been using this. I've swapped it out here and there for other bags that I was testing, reviewing. I've used a couple different Gregory bags. Actually, I almost bought the 18-liter version of this bag to take as my Disney dad bag. And then right before I left, Gregory dropped the Nano 24. So I picked one of those up and I ended up really loving that. And the only reason I honestly went with the Gregory was because it has that stretch front mesh pocket, which I kind of wish this one had, but you know, with the daisy chaining, you can pretty much accomplish that same thing with a little bit of shock cord and the daisy chaining. So it's not necessary with the Beast because you have the daisy chaining, but I liked having it for Florida for my Disney dad bag. The Gregory worked out great, but I have used the Gregory. I've had a 20 and a 24, the Nanos, the Nano 20, the Nano 24, I used them as day packs. I hiked in them. They're great. I've used a couple other packs hiking. All worked out great. But when I'm done, I keep coming back to my Matador Beast 28. Now, I will say 28 liters, it might be a bit large for you for a day pack just to go out on the trails. I carry for 2 adults, 1 half human, my daughter Hazel, is Hazel Fantastic, and the dog. So the only thing that I removed, I said, was the water. So I carry 32-ounce Nalgene for the dog, this Hazel Fantastic's water, whatever water bottle she chooses, and then I use a 750 milliliter hydro flask or a Camelback chute, and I just throw that inside the bag. There's no tech in here, so I'm not worried about it spilling. The only thing in here that has batteries is my flashlight, and it is sealed, so if it gets wet, it's not going to get ruined. And I could probably fit the 2 of them inside the outdoor or water bottle pocket on the outside of the bag, but I don't want to stretch it out and then eventually make it too big and it's not going to hold anything. But it does hold a 32-ounce Nalgene just fine. And again, that's for the dog, not for me. I carry a little extra water for him instead of myself. I don't really drink that much water, so that 750 that I carry is actually for me and my wife, and she usually ends up drinking most of it. I'll usually have a sip of water when I get back to the car, but I don't really drink too much while I'm hiking. Anyway, this bag works for me because I'm carrying for 3 people and 1 dog. I will say I don't have any snacks in this bag, nor do I carry any snacks anymore because Hazel likes to carry her own backpack. So sometimes she carries her own water, usually for about 20 minutes, then I carry it anyway. But she carries all her own snacks and her own first aid kit. I do a first aid kit in here, but she carries her own little first aid kit that I made for in addition to all the snacks. So her and my wife, they throw all the snacks in Hazel's bag, so that's one thing I don't have to carry. But because I'm carrying for 3 people and a dog, that's why a 28-liter pack works out really, really well for me as a day pack. There's still plenty of room in here. I do have this set up for my winter pack at the moment. You'll see it's just an extra organizer thrown in there, and I actually have a puffer vest thrown in here. And when I'm not hiking, I keep my hiking hat in here, so when I do go hiking, I have the correct hat on me. But I have been using this bag, going back to it nonstop for the past 3 years now. And yes, I still use it. Yes, I still love it. And yes, I almost bought the 18-liter version to use as a Disney dad bag. Now, let's show you what I'm carrying right now. We'll start with the outside. On the daisy chaining, I have two of these very light, just cheap plastic carabiners. I use these to lash, you know, gloves or rain jackets, anything kind of wet that I don't really need on the outside of the bag. Then I have an actual carabiner that I can combine with some of the cordage that's stuck inside the bag if I need to actually do anything. And yes, that carabiner will hold the load because it is an actual climbing carabiner. And then on this side that you probably can't see very well, I have a Murdered Out Black Night Eyes S binder that is also a bottle clip. So if I need to crack open a daddy juice if we're out hiking and camping at the same time, I got myself covered. Never leave home without a daddy juice bottle opener. Now this bag, it's pretty simple. We have one pocket here that does take up the whole length of the front of the bag. It's pretty deep, and inside here you can't really fold it open, but inside here I keep first aid kit, and then I also have an extra leash for the dog. And then inside there is a zipper pocket, and in here I keep a flashlight. I get asked about this all the time. This is a Woobin X0 flashlight. It's pretty nice. It's got 4 brightness levels. It's sealed, it's aluminum, it actually locks, so if I hit it, it's not gonna come on. You see, yeah, it's flashing there. That means it's locked, so it's not gonna turn on inside my bag. It is USB rechargeable. There's a rechargeable lithium-ion battery on here, and it has a clip, so I can clip this. If I'm wearing a button-down shirt, I can clip it on the shirt. I can clip it to the shoulder strap. I can adjust it up or down. It works out really, really well. I use this sometimes in the winter when I'm walking the dog early in the morning and it's still pitch black outside. So this was actually my dog walking flashlight for some time, but I did swap it into my hiking bag because I found it so useful there that I thought if I needed it in a pinch hiking, I can clip this on something and still be hands-free and still have plenty of light because this is really nice. It is adjustable. And then also inside this zipper pocket, I keep all of my different trail maps in a Ziploc bag. And there are quite a bit of them there. These are mostly just the trails that we frequent, we go to often. So I keep all of the parks that we hit all the time. These are all state parks. I keep the maps in there, so no matter where we're going, I usually have a map on hand when we get there because there's not always a map when you get to a state park, especially in digital form. And if what happened today, you get there and try and use like all trails, there's no internet, you can't use the map. If you don't subscribe to it and don't download the map or have the map preloaded before you get there, you can't connect to the internet, you can't load the map. So the parks that we hit all the time, frequently, I keep the trail maps inside a Ziploc bag, inside my bag. And that's it. This is a big, long pocket here, but that's what I have in here. I keep my dog leash, my first aid kit, my trail maps, and my flashlight right in here, accessible whenever I need them. Now we'll go into the main body of the bag. Where do I have the zippers? Now this is a J zipper here, so it does only come to about here, and then it goes mostly down. So you don't get a full clamshell, but you get the J, so you get that peel back, but you don't get full clamshell access. Now, again, I keep my cool hiking hat. Got my North Face thermal ball vest in here. And I just threw the vest and my winter gear kit in here the other day because it's been chilly. It's been like 40s in the morning waking up, and it was about 42 degrees this morning when I took the dog for his morning walk, and we were going to a higher elevation. It wasn't super high, but we went up into the Poconos to go hiking today, so I knew it would be a little cooler up there. They were calling for a high of I think 67 degrees or something like that. It was probably about 60 degrees or so when we were hiking, and it really just hung around that 60-degree day or temperature all day long. But I wanted to make sure, in case we were up there, in case we were cold, I wanted to have my winter layers. And I will say, I did throw this in there because Miss Hazel Fantastic was wearing a tank top, and I really threw this in there for her. It will be huge on her, but if she needed an extra layer, I had this ready. And then if I needed an extra layer, my wife needed an extra layer, it was there. But I did throw this and my winter hat and glove kit in there today. And then in addition to that, we have my potty kit, a few additional first aid supplements, a toolkit, okay, and then I keep, there it is, an extra roll bag that is waterproof if I need to keep anything dry. If we do get caught in a downpour, we want to keep our tech dry, I can throw them in here. And then there is this one zipper pocket over here on the side, and in here I just keep poo bags for the dog, a tick remover, and there is an extra O-ring, I guess, for my flashlight, but a pocket knife, because sometimes, depending upon what pants I'm wearing, I may not want to or may forget to grab a pocket knife. And I get asked this all the time, what pouches are these? And honestly, I have no idea. I bought a bunch of them on eBay. I bought some of them on Amazon. They're basically the same exact pouch. I just buy them wherever they're cheaper. I bought a bunch of these for when I became a dad, for my dad bag, because I didn't know what I was going to need to carry in my diaper bag and how I was going to carry it and how I was going to organize it. And I just saw these on eBay. They're like ridiculously cheap. They're like maybe $2 a piece. So I bought like 1 or 2 in each color, these smaller ones, just so I could organize my dad bag. And then they ended up having bigger ones. So I did buy a couple bigger ones later on. But I liked them so much and they worked so well in my dad bag. When we started taking Miss Hazel Fantastic hiking, I still needed basically the same stuff, just in my hiking bag. And since I like to keep my hiking bag ready, I just bought more of them. So these are just cheap, no-name brand bags. They're like tool bags. Bought them on eBay, and then I bought some of them on Amazon. If I can find the link, I'll drop it in the description box down below. But these are just cheap, like ridiculously cheap bags. I think the first round were like $2 a bag, and I bought 5 of them, so I spent like $10. I have a green one as well, and I have a smaller, this is the bigger one, but I have a smaller red one, same size as this. I have a red one and then a green one, so I guess I have 5 of these total in the small, so I guess I have 10 of them total because I bought them again. And then I have a couple of them that are also bigger, and the red ones are a little bit bigger because these are like my first aid kit supplement. So in here it's stuff like, I've got like extra bug spray, there's some suntan in there for the dog, there's some after bite in here, yeah, there's sunscreen for the dog in here. I did take out the human sunscreen recently because I believe that was expired by a couple of years, so I took that out. But I've also been wearing a UPF hoodie when I've been hiking in the summer, so I haven't been wearing sunscreen. I've been wearing a hiking sun hoodie when I've been hiking, and we honestly didn't hike that much this summer just because it was so ridiculously hot this summer. We had like 4 different heat waves that lasted for a week or more, so yeah, we didn't hike as much this summer as we normally do just because it was just so hot, and the mosquitoes were terrible this year, so it was just a miserable experience. The dog's pulling, everyone's sweating, the dog's panting, he's jumping in massive mud puddles to stay cool. So yeah, we didn't hike too much this summer, so once the sunscreen expired, I did not put it back in this kit. And in addition to that, we also have, I have some emergency blankets in here, those reflective blankets, so if we get stuck into an emergency situation where we need to reflect some light to signal for help, or we just need to reflect heat back to our bodies because we're stranded and I had to build some sort of shelter, we got that covered with my reflective blankets. I carry like 3 or 4 of those in here, so there's one for at least each human, and I think there's an extra one in there for the dog as well. And then in my potty kit, we have some more poo bags, but these are for human use and not dog use. Some toilet paper that is inside a Ziploc bag to keep it dry and ready for use. Some wipes that may or may not be dried out that might need to be replaced. A poop trowel for, you know, digging that cat hole, so if you do have to poop out in the wilderness. And I have a couple extra Ziploc bags if the poo bags aren't cutting it, you need something a little bit bigger. I got some Ziploc bags. And these can also double if we need to put our tech inside something to keep it dry if we're caught in a torrential downpour. And then in my hats and gloves kit is basically just that. I have an extra pair of gloves. I have a skull cap in here, and then I also have a schmog and an extra bandana in here that can be used as a scarf or to wipe anything away if whatever's needed. And these are inside a Ziploc bag because, you know, why not? Keeps them dry, and it also gives me an extra Ziploc bag for in case I need it. And then we have my toolkit. So in here, we've got some gloves in case you need them. These are work gloves. These could be used for damn near anything. We have a little pouch here that has some cordage in here. I think I probably have maybe 20, 30 feet of paracord in here, 550 cord, so this could be used for just about anything. And then we have the actual toolkit of my toolkit. And this is like, I don't know, a Rush 511 case or something like that. And here, we've got a bunch of stuff. We've got lip balm for, you know, your lips, a lighter that can also be combined with the lip balm to, you know, make a fire. I've got some Sharpies, some pens. I have a big, beefy Swiss Army knife that I have a lot of attachments for and some extra tools. Then I also have my Victorinox multi-tool here. Again, this is a big and beefy tool. This has a good grip if you want to use the pliers, because sometimes when you're gripping them, some of the old Leathermans, they have a big gap here, so when you're trying to really press down, it cuts into your fingers and it hurts real bad. But the Swiss Army, it has a good roll edge to it. It is significantly bigger and heavier, because I would hate to be out in the woods and not have a multi-tool, so I do keep that one in there all the time with my Swiss Army knife. And then I have field notes kit with a pen, and I thought I had, it must have fallen out. I used to have a flint and steel in here, but I might have actually lost that when I was camping one time. So I'm gonna have to go and find another flint and steel and toss that in there, because I'd hate to only have one way to start a fire in case of an emergency. And then to fully close off the video, I keep a little S-hook on the front of the bag that I can clip damn near anything to. I keep a rescue whistle there as well, and a little button compass. So there we have it. That is my full loadout in my Matador Beast 28 for 3 people and 1 dog, minus the water. Now, I will switch out that winter kit. Usually I'll swap that out in the summer, and I'll throw like an extra t-shirt and then like an extra t-shirt, change of shorts, change of underwear, and change of socks from Miss Hazel Fantastic, and I'll throw that in there as well, because I don't need, you know, a skull cap and gloves in the summer months. But you never know when someone's going to need a change of clothes. So I do like to carry an extra change of clothes on the trail as well as in the car for both me and Miss Hazel Fantastic. So yes, I am still using my Matador Beast 28 after nearly 3 years. And yes, it is almost 3 years. Again, I dropped that first video November 3rd, 2021. The time of filming, it is, I believe, the 8th. Yes, it is September 8th, 2024 today. So like 2 months shy of having this bag for 3 years, because I've probably opened that box a day or two before I published the video. So like beginning of November, end of October, I got that bag. So yeah, almost 3 years I've now been using it, and it looks great. I mean, there's not a lot of wear. I mean, even today, I had this on today. We did take, you know, a mellow trail, but I mean, I set this down several times. It was in the dirt, it was in the moss, it was on some trees, and like there's maybe a little bit of gunk on the bottom, but there's no tears, there's no rips, nothing. I do also, it does have a removable hip belt, which I removed like immediately, and I've never put it back on. I'm not a big hip belt person, even though this is a 28-liter bag, and I do carry water for 3 people. It's not heavy enough for me that I feel like I need the hip belt. Now, if I were to go on like some actual, like a multi-day hike with this bag, I probably could pull it off if I was carrying just for myself. Then I would put the hip belt on. And this is also a packable bag. It does fold down. It did come with, I believe, a mesh stuff sack that I've also probably never used since I opened the bag up. I have compressed it back down a couple of times, just mostly playing with it. But yeah, when I'm not using it, it just stays like this, packed and ready to go. I will just throw my water into this and I'm good to go. Usually change a season, I'll go through it a couple times, make sure I have what I need. You know, I will swap out my gear if I find something I'm not using or something that I need in here. I'll change out my gear, but for the most part, that's what I carry. This is how I leave it. It's gonna go back upstairs in my closet, ready to go for the next hike, which isn't gonna happen next weekend. We have 2 birthday parties, one Saturday, one Sunday, so we're booked up. There'll be no walks in the woods. But yeah, I'm still loving this bag. It's a great bag. It's a technical bag. You know, you could slap an ice axe on here or trekking poles. You can get your attachments on both sides for trekking poles. And really, the only thing that I would change on this bag is I'm not a huge fan of this J zipper. I would make that a full zipper, come down both sides. That's the only thing. Like, I'd have both sides matched to come down to the bottom of the bag. I'm not a big fan of the J. I mean, it doesn't really get in the way. I could still get basically full access, but I would like to have a full access zipper, which would make it a little bit better, because if you do have something long and kind of stiff in this front pocket, you're not going to get a good peel back. So if it was a full zipper, you can just fold the whole thing down. You don't have to worry about peeling it and rolling it over. So yeah, if you wanted to stick something large in this front pocket, you're not gonna get a good peel back. But that's really the only thing I would change. I love the bag. It could use a front mesh pocket, but you know, it's not necessary with this because the daisy chain's good. You have plenty of daisy chaining. And yeah, I love it. It's a great bag. It does have some compression on it as well, but like, it's great. There is a frame in here. There's a wire frame that goes through the bag. So when you fold it, you have to kind of do like those taco twists. So even for such a light, packable bag, there's still a frame in there, and I find it incredibly comfortable. I don't need thick padded shoulder straps. It's great. I absolutely love this bag. I keep coming back to it for almost 3 years now. This has been my go-to day pack for hiking. So yeah, if you're looking at it, the Matador hit it out of the park with this one. This is a great bag. The Beast 28 is great. I'm still considering maybe picking up the 18, but honestly, this is such a great bag. I'll just carry less and use the same bag. Yeah, so if we do go to Disney again and I don't have my Nano 24, I still have my Nano 24. That's basically going to be my travel backpack. I would use this in a heartbeat. I would just empty out all my hiking stuff and throw all my dad bag stuff in here and take this as my travel bag because it is so great. Yeah, if I were to do it again, I wouldn't even consider buying the 18 because the 28 is such a perfect pack. And now knowing what I know, having taken the Nano 24 to Disney, the 28 would have been much needed. The 18 would have just been too small for what I ended up carrying. So yeah, I would just empty this out and take my 28 to Disney. So if you're looking for a Disney dad bag, my two top recommendations are the Matador Beast 28 or the Gregory Nano 24. Two amazing bags, work great on the trail, work great. I not EDC this, but I have used for a couple other things. I did dad bag this a little bit, so I can say it does dad bag really, really well. And the Nano 24 was an amazing travel bag, worked amazing in Disney, but I believe that this Matador Beast 28 would also work great in Disney. So there, yeah. If we're looking at one of my other videos, you're gonna ask me if I'm still using it. Do I recommend it? What am I using now? I'm still using it. I love this bag. This is my go-to. Sure, I'm sure I will use some other bags to hike in the future, but so far, I keep coming back to this, and I don't see that changing in the near future. So with that, if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications the next time I post a brand new video. Good night.